Welcome to today's Explainer. Get ready, because we're actually going on an epic field trip today. Now, we're not hopping on a regular yellow bus. Actually, I was just reading through some incredible ancient texts, and I am so pumped to uncover the secrets hidden right beneath our feet. So if you're into cracking hidden codes, solving thousands-of-year-old mysteries, and looking into the future of our incredible planet, let's go.
What if the absolute best classroom in the whole universe didn't have any walls or desks? I mean, just imagine stepping outside to learn instead of sitting in a regular stuffy room. No whiteboards, zero cinder block walls, no sitting in rows. What if the sky above you, the massive mountains, and the thick forests were actually your textbooks? Well, according to the amazing text we're diving into today, that is exactly how it works.
Welcome to God's school.
You see, nature isn't just a random pile of dirt, trees, and bugs. Not at all. Our source material tells us that the great architect actually designed all of nature for a very specific reason. Now, an architect is someone who draws up the plans for epic buildings, right? Well, God designed the whole earth to be this giant school for our minds and our hearts. It's literally God's massive textbook. By studying all these majestic things he made, we pick up some mind-blowing lessons about his character, his crazy awesome power, and just how much he loves us.
But to read an outdoor textbook, you gotta know where to look. Let's look at the secrets hidden in rocks. Our source drops this huge clue. It says the rocks are among the precious things of earth, containing treasures of wisdom and knowledge. You know, you might just see a gray stone in the dirt and kick it out of the way. But rocks and mountains are actually like ancient history books. They hold solid physical proof, locked right there in the layers of stone, of a massive earth-shaking event. I'm talking about the time God destroyed the wicked with a worldwide flood.
So, here's how the timeline played out. It all starts way back at creation, where everything was absolutely perfect. But over time, people started forgetting God. The text calls these people the antediluvians. Okay, giant word alert, I know, but it just means the people who lived before the Great Flood. Now, these folks lived a super long time, but instead of using all those extra years to do good, they made void the divine law. Basically, they totally ignored God's rules, and because of that, they were swept completely from the earth by the Great Flood.
Which leads us to the danger of selfishness. You've kind of got to wonder, how did these ancient people mess up so badly that a worldwide flood was the only option? Well, it happened in a few really tragic steps. First, God gave them rich gifts, literally all the beautiful things on earth. But then, step 2, they started loving those gifts way more than the God who actually gave them the stuff. They really thought they were wiser than God. Step 3, they misused these amazing favors, completely separating themselves from God until they became super selfish and entirely influenced by Satan. They let wicked, fallen influences drag them totally off course. And finally, step 4, because of all this terrible selfishness and totally rejecting God, the floodwaters came crashing down on the old world. It really all boils down to a massive choice. On one side, you've got what the pre-flood people did. They took all those amazing earthly blessings and totally misused them to run away from obedience. But on the flip side, we have true obedience. When God hands us amazing things in nature, those gifts are supposed to bring us closer to Him, not build a wall between us.
But you know, the rocks and the earth don't just talk about our watery past. They also hold a pretty wild secret about the future: fire from the deep.
Now, the text makes it super clear right up front that God is completely full of love and bursting with mercy. He's got a great salvation plan for us. But it also warns that He's not going to let wickedness just ruin things forever. God promised He will never ever use water to destroy the world again. So the next time the earth is cleansed of all that wickedness, it's going to be by fire. And get this is mind-blowing, that fire is actually hiding right now, deep underground in the bowels of the earth. And one day, it will be awakened into intense blazing activity by fires raining down from heaven above.
From water to fire, that is a massive, dramatic shift. The earth was cleansed by a giant flood in the past, and one day, it will be completely purified by fire. It just really shows how serious this is, right? We absolutely do not want to neglect the awesome rescue plan God has set up for us, because His justice is real, but so is His incredible mercy.
Which brings us to choosing heavenly treasures.
Because after the earth is completely purified by that fire, something absolutely incredible is going to happen. A massive, beautiful song of praise is literally going to rise up from the new earth. The text quotes Revelation 5:13, which says, "Blessing and honor and glory and power be unto Him that sitteth upon the throne and unto the Lamb forever and ever."
I mean, just imagine it. Millions and millions of voices. It's going to be the loudest, most joyful choir in history singing that glad, triumphant song together. It's going to be epic.
But who actually gets to sing in that amazing choir? Well, it comes down to earthly treasures versus heavenly treasures. The text says that every single person who has made the heavenly treasure their first consideration gets to join that triumphant song. And making it your first consideration really just means making God, His love, and His ways the absolute most important thing in your whole life. Way, way above any cool gadgets, stuff, or earthly gifts you might ever have.
So, as we wrap up our little field trip through God's giant classroom today, I want you to think about this. The rocks tell us about a crazy, watery past, and the deep earth warns us about a fiery future. But your choices, those happen right here, right now. Are you going to chase after earthly things that are just going to fade away? Or are you going to make heavenly treasures your absolute #1 priority? What kind of treasure will you choose to seek today?